Crown Jewel is taking place next Saturday, so a week from today. And in America, it's going to be kicking off at 8 a.m. If you are watching in Central Time, it's going to be kicking off at 7 a.m. And if you're on Pacific Time, it's going to be happening at 5 a.m. And in today's video, I'm going to beg the question, is Crown Jewel worth your time? And I'm going to go ahead and give 3 talking points on my view on Crown Jewel. And the number one is what makes Crown Jewel stand out in the first place. The second point, are the storylines and matches actually worth it? Those are huge 2-number talking points that we are going to be discussing. And the third is the real value of fans watching at home. Again, like I said, the timing, how it's taking place super early. So, if you guys haven't yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also make sure to like this video because it helps push this video out into the algorithm. If you guys don't know, my name's Billy TKO. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and without further ado, let's go ahead and hop directly into the video. So our first talking point is going to be what exactly makes Crown Jewel stand out? And let me ask you this question. Does it feel like one of their biggest international shows? Have we seen bigger international shows? And before I go on, make sure you drop in the comments how you feel about the question that I just asked. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So Crown Jewel has been known for quite some time as a spectacle in some cases. And they have matches like for the Crown Jewel Championship where the WWE champion takes on the world champion, and the WWE women's champion takes on the world champion. And there's no actual title match that takes place. In fact, this match is strictly to see who is the better champion. And if you kind of look back, it reminds a lot of people of Survivor Series. As you guys know, Survivor Series, it used to be Raw versus SmackDown. You would get champion versus champion, champion versus champion. You would have the five-way tag match, whatever. That it kind of feels the exact same way, but instead of happening at Survivor Series, obviously they're titling it Crown Jewel, and they're doing it there, and they're offering this championship at the end. Now, to give preface, this championship, the Crown Jewel Championship, that the winner does receive, actually doesn't walk around with the championship. They get a ring, and, you may see them wear it from time to time. Normally after the show takes place, for like a week or two, they promote it. After that, it just kind of dwindles out. So, if I were to give my analysis personally on how I feel about that itself, it actually means nothing to me because, truth be told, it's not necessarily moving any storyline. Do I like the idea right now of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins? Absolutely. I'm a fan of it. I love Seth Rollins. I love Cody Rhodes. I love their history. I love the work that they're doing, but ultimately, is it going to lead to something later down the line between the two? The answer to that is no. They're on separate brands. This match is literally just to, beef up and say, oh, I'm better than you. When that's not really the case. Now, they have done some things where they've involved the Vision in the whole Cody Rhodes mix and Randy Orton, and ultimately it helps push that storyline a little bit further, the Randy Orton-Cody Rhodes storyline. Truth be told, WWE has been holding on to that one for quite some time. Now, when it comes to Seth Rollins individually, they really have no direction for him after this. Obviously, we still have the CM Punk thing, and they're going to continue that on, so that will be nice, and we obviously know as fans who have been continuously watching that we're going to see Seth Rollins and CM Punk do something down the line again. Maybe CM Punk enters the Royal Rumble. We're going to see that. But the problem here is that in this month and the time frame that we're in, we're not going to see any World Championship matches. Maybe we see one at Survivor Series, but other than that, we're not going to see one till the Royal Rumble, and that's kind of crazy to think about. So, truth be told, I hate the idea of the Crown Jewel Championship strictly because we're not getting any title matches. We don't have anything, necessarily to look forward to on that behalf. And that sucks. I'm not a fan of that. I truthfully am. And when you look at other shows like SummerSlam and WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble, obviously this is a B-plus pay-per-view. So, I'm going to ask you guys, with just our number one talking point, how do you feel about Crown Jewel so far? And that's not even all of our talking points. So let's go ahead and dive into our second talking point. So when we talk about the second talking point, that talking point is, are the storylines and matches actually worth it? Let's go ahead and just read off the card to you. And this is the card as it stands this Saturday. We obviously still have this upcoming Monday Night Raw, also the upcoming Friday Night SmackDown. But let me just go ahead and read these off to you. We have Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. We have Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. We have AJ Styles versus John Cena, and we also have Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. Now, second talking point here is, are these matches worth it? Well, let's take a quick look at these matches in general. Okay, so Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Obviously, there's a history there. So that match is going to be fun to watch, no matter how you feel about it. That one is going to be fun, but is the storyline going to continue on after? The answer to that is probably no. So there's your answer for number one. Number two, Stephanie Vaquer versus Tiffany Stratton. Is anything actually going to come out of Stephanie and Tiffany? The answer to that is also no. These women are on separate brands, same as Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. They're on separate brands. Nothing is going to come of it. It's just going to be a good old-fashioned wrestling match. The next match on top of that is AJ Styles versus John Cena. Now, let's look at the build for AJ Styles and John Cena. As you guys know, it was announced on Twitter. The match was announced on Twitter. John Cena and AJ Styles have been great rivals for many, many years. You know, the whole beat-up John Cena thing? Yeah, that was amazing. And to say that this was just thrown at us in our face, I do love the idea of the match. I don't want to hate on the match. I actually love it, and I can't wait for this match. I do believe that they're going to tear the house down. It's going to be the last time that they get in the ring together. So, that match, I actually see chef's kiss. The next match, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. Obviously, there has been tension between Io Sky, Asuka, and everything that they've been doing. Same with Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Kairi Sane kind of falls in the middle. The storyline that they've done there is outstanding. Now, the question is what happens to Io Sky and Rhea Ripley? Obviously, those two women are going to go on and fight for the Women's World Championship at some point down the line. Does Rhea Ripley turn heel? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head, but what I do know is that this match actually has some substance to it. It has substance behind it. There's no big necessary answer on what is exactly going to happen. Now, is it the biggest match of all time? No, it's not. So these women are going to go out there, they're going to tear the house down, they're going to do their thing, and it's going to be crazy. But the real question is anything actually going to come out of that match? As we know, WWE from time to time, especially with their B-plus pay-per-views, they don't always give people this big, magnificent moment. It doesn't necessarily always happen. So, I beg the question, are the matches actually worth it for you, the watcher? And I'll let you guys go ahead and answer that down in the comment section below, and I will give my thoughts at the end of the video on all three of these talking points. And the third question that I have, the third talking point, is it worth your time? Is this actually worth waking up at 8 a.m.? Is it worth waking up at 7 a.m.? Is it worth waking up at 5 a.m.? I'm going to go ahead and let you guys answer that question. Now, I am going to go ahead and give you guys my quick analysis on all of these. If you were to ask me what makes Crown Jewel stand out, my answer would be AJ Styles and John Cena. That is the only thing right now that truthfully does stand out to me. That is the only match that I look at the card and I go, man, that is a must-see match. Now, again, we have to beg the question, is it must-see live? Or is it worth it just going back later in the day when you wake up and you've done everything that you need to do and just tuning in? That is something that you have to ask yourself. And that is ultimately up to you guys. But if I were to give my analysis on, what makes it stand out, my analysis to that is, AJ Styles and John Cena, that match is going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a barn burner because those two, if you guys remember at the Royal Rumble in 2017, those guys absolutely tore the house down. They really did. So definitely have to preface that. So that is the biggest thing that stands out directly to me. Are the storylines and matches actually worth it? I'm just going to go ahead and tell you no. Truth be told, I have no interest in the actual storylines of this show. The storylines mean absolutely nothing to me. Like, I'm not excited or looking forward necessarily to anything big happening on the show or how they're going to play it or what the big draw is or anything along those lines. Like I said before, the only thing that truthfully stands out to me directly is the AJ Styles John Cena thing. And when you look at the storyline of that and how it's been built, it was shitty. That's just honest. I can't lie about it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, Like, oh yeah, like I 100% think like this storyline is great and this storyline is great. Yeah, sure. I mean, do we maybe see progression of Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes? Sure. Do we maybe see progression of CM Punk and Seth Rollins? Absolutely. Do I think that they may just let this be a pay-per-view and, these matches finish the way that they finish? Yes, I do. I do see that potentially being the case. So, if you were to ask me, is there any storylines or matches that stand out? The only match that stands out is AJ Styles and John Cena. And if you were to ask me about the storylines, I would tell you, no, I'm not really feeling the storylines going into this. I'm just not. And number 3, the most important is, is it worth your time? And if you were to ask me, I would tell you, if you are in the United States and you were watching on ESPN and you spent $30 last month for WrestlePalooza, and today you are looking at that bill coming back to you and maybe it declined and maybe you were going to pay it later or maybe the case, I would tell you, go ahead and skip out on this one. This one, to me, truthfully, isn't like the biggest hoorah. Don't be afraid to go onto YouTube and look up highlights or, hey, a little plug here. Guys, I do like this watch-along thing. If you guys want to join me for the watch-along of Crown Jewel, you guys are more than welcome to. And you can get it literally for free there and just come hang out with me and watch it. Like, there are numerous outlets that you can go and get this from rather than spending your hard-earned money on something that may only be B+. At the end of the day, it is up for you to decide, and I'm not going to tell you how you're supposed to spend your money or how to live your life, et cetera, et cetera. What I'm going to tell you is if you are just like a casual fan and maybe you don't want to spend the $30 this month, I would tell you that don't be afraid to skip out on this one. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to maybe wait until Survivor Series and War Games because the build to that will be amazing and the things they'll do with that will be amazing. This is just one to, essentially, if you were to ask me, it's just to add another date to John Cena's list. And that's okay. I'm fine with it. I will tune in strictly for that because I'm a fan of John Cena and I love everything that John Cena is doing. But if you want me to be 100% transparent and honest, I'll tell you, yeah, don't be afraid to skip out on this one. But ultimately, all of that is up for you guys to decide. And if you guys are new here, I definitely suggest making sure to hit that like button if you learned anything from this video. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel because when you guys subscribe, we go to a different stratosphere. And also, guys, if you guys want to become a member of my channel for as low as $1.99, it actually gives you access to a personal phone number of mine where you guys can actually reach out to me. And no, I'm not just plugging this just because. I'm actually going to add a little context behind this just to extend the video a little bit. As you guys see, I have this University of Michigan t-shirt on, and the reason why that is and the reason why this video is coming out so much later in the day is actually because today I got to experience my first ever University of Michigan football game. And funny enough, I've been a Michigan fan my whole life, and I've never gone to a game. And I didn't go with a friend. I didn't go with a family member. Hell, I didn't even go with an acquaintance. Actually, I went with a subscriber of the channel. His name's John. And I'm going to go ahead and throw a picture up somewhere right here, maybe, of me and John at the game. Me and John got to experience this game. John is from about an hour north of Memphis, Tennessee. And John, at one point, was a subscriber. And he is a subscriber. And he watches. And he's tagged along on this whole ride that I've had going on YouTube for the longest time. But truth be told, John no longer is just a subscriber. Actually, John is now a lifelong friend and somebody that I plan on, making more experiences with. He is an awesome gentleman. And, yesterday he reached out to me telling me that he was coming in town for the game because he was a diehard Michigan fan, and he doesn't even live in Michigan. So just want to give a big shout out to John today. John is an absolutely outstanding human being, and I know he probably doesn't even need the credit in this video or anything like that, but truth be told, I feel like I'd be wrong if I didn't. So, John, brother, this is a big thank you from me to you. I appreciate you, man. You're an outstanding human being. Can't wait to make more memories. And, guys, become a member of the channel for as low as $1.99 because at the end of the day, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a human being, and I do human being things, and my life is bigger than just pro wrestling, and so is yours. So make sure that you're going and experiencing life. And no, it's not weird to become friends with a human being on the internet. That just happens from time to time. I love you guys. Like, subscribe. Peace.